Tonight on Noir.
Let's knock some pins down right now. Safety off.
Remember when the X Games sounded more like a low-budget porno instead of a display of freakishly talented awesomeness that the world now respects? Look at what the extreme sports guys have managed to do. They've taken a group of people who were seen as a bunch of druggy, underachieving misfits with a penchant for creatively trying to kill themselves and turned themselves into mainstream celebrities. Ironically, when we thought that they were losers, the extreme sports guys were looking at the world like, y'all are losers for not being a part of this awesome sport. Now I can walk into any Whole Foods at 1 o'clock on a Thursday, and 3 out of the 5 soccer moms there know who Tony Hawk is, but have no clue what he does. Imagine a world where soccer moms want their daughters to date gun guys because it signifies a level of responsibility and self-sufficiency, which it does. But somehow the lunatics who happen to own guns are the poster children for all gun owners. Gun owners have to deal with this rule-swallowing exception because we want to apologize for our interests or passions, make excuses for why we own guns, let people make us feel crazy for owning them, when we should be totally out in front in the mainstream. If we don't act like a French society, then we won't be treated like a French society. But all too often, gun owners act like they're doing something wrong. It blows me away that there are no mainstream gun celebrities. And no, I'm not talking about celebrities who just happen to like guns. People like to turn their nose up to the idea of making guns mainstream. But anti-gunners have spent millions to convince the world that gun control is mainstream. They just use words like reasonable. They understand the power of the mainstream. And they're also terrified at how protected the Second Amendment would actually be if guns ever became mainstream.
All right, so I want to hit on what you talked about earlier with Tony Hawk, because I do agree with you on so many levels with that. Like, Tony Hawk was able to do what he did because he became the face of the X Games, basically, right? And he was able to do that because he changed the face of what most people were perceiving was the skateboard, X Games, snowboard lifestyle, you know? And then he comes along, he's a nice guy, he seems to be nice, I don't know him. He seems to be very likable, good-looking guy, clean cut, you know, I mean, just a cool guy. And he was just able to do something for these sports by changing that whole perception.
Yeah, and I think what essentially we're missing in the gun community is that face that isn't, one, obvious, and two, that isn't negative. Right now, we're continuing with the negative perception, which is these shootings that keep happening and the over-glorification of these shootings that happens in the news media.
And isn't that so weird? Because every person I know that's a gun owner, good person, family person, you know, responsible, safe, would never do anything wrong with a gun, you know? I mean, it's like, that's already what's out there, but clearly that's not the face. But we have a media, though, too, that is painting the picture for us.
They're trying to paint the picture, and right now they're actually, I don't want to say they're successful, but they're getting close. The thing about it is when you touched on the negative image that's out there, and then there's the obvious. And I know there's going to be a ton of people who are like, well, we have these people in the community. We have all of these celebrities in our gun world. Why aren't they the mainstream celebrities? Like when you talk about like for instance certain trainers and certain people who are sports figures who shoot and things like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, but it's almost too obvious. That's the problem. We don't have that one that person that's just like big, that's just really lifestyle shooting, that represents everybody else.
But there's a lot of factors that play into someone being a celebrity anyways.
Which is true.
I mean, not every actor that's an actor is a celebrity.
Which is very true. But the fact that we don't have one, if you look at every other medium or every other subculture, so to speak, there is one. You can kind of point to someone that's like, okay, they've taken that and made that mainstream.
I almost think about it in terms like what they were able to do with UFC when it first started out. UFC got banned. After it first aired, it got banned in like many states. You had to only watch it on pay-per-view because people were like, oh, it's too violent. There were no rules, there were no regulations. And then somebody was able to take the same idea because it saw the potential of what was in the sport, put some parameters around it, remarket it, and now UFC, as we know it, is what we're watching on television. You know, they put a face to it with Joe Rogan. You know, I mean, and so maybe you do something like that.
Well, I'm not saying we need to sit here and develop a marketing strategy for guns.
Yeah, because.
But what I want to do is start talking from a holistic perspective and entertain the idea that not entertain it, like adamantly say it, like it's okay to own a gun. You are not crazy because you bought a gun. You're not crazy because you have a safe full of guns. That doesn't make you crazy. There isn't some secret magic potion inside a firearm that makes you go crazy because you have them. All it takes is one person who knows another person that owns a lot of guns, but like, no, that is a great guy. Like, that is a great girl. So then we're able to distinguish the exceptions from the rules because there are a ton of rules out there. The only problem is what's being shown in the media is the bad stuff. And then when we talk about movies, that's in a vacuum. It's, oh, well, that's in the movies. You know, that's like guns in the movies is fine. You bring them in reality, it's like, oh.
You know, we were just saying that we're not going to come up with a marketing strategy, but I almost think, like, think about the things that we go and do with Le Sort, right? But what if we could do that on a bigger scale? What if they turned it into something that could be some sort of spectator sport? Or, you know, I mean, something. I don't know how to show about it, or well, we do have a show about it. But, no, like you know, they take reality shows and they follow like MMA fighters up to the big fight. I don't know, but I'm just saying, like, it is.
Sometimes all it really needs to happen is just the idea to be put out there. The gun right now is polarizing. The gun issue is polarizing. I'm not like I'd be an idiot to act like, oh, well, no, it's not polarizing. It is. And right now, I personally don't think the gun should be politicized. I don't. I just don't. However, with it being so polarizing, and within that scheme, within that framework, it speaks volumes as to why we should even be more adamant about being unapologetic about being gun owners. Because right now we're allowing psychopaths to paint our picture. And that's ridiculous. It's totally ridiculous. I'm not going to be held accountable for another sociopath's doings. I'm just not.
And I don't think we should, but I think all of that is very interesting.
Very much so.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're back here at ETTS for Bowling with Shotguns. That's what we're doing today. So we are going to start the course of fire over here. These 4 bowling pins, we're going to shoot in teams again. Jen is my partner today. Colion and Amy are going to be shooting together again. We're going to beat them again, too. And so we're going to start over here. Each of us hits the 2 bowling pins. Once we both have both bowling pins down, we're going on safe, and we are going to be running this direction. We're running over here. We are going to come through the middle of these bowling pins right here. We're going to get to this shooting stage marked by a stick right here. We're going to turn, safety's off, and we're going to engage each of the 6 bowling pins with bird shot. We're going to knock all 6 bowling pins down on each side, so 12 total. Once that happens, we are going to load buckshot in the gun. So at that point, buckshot is going to be used to hit 2 of the poppers on the left-hand side, 2 on the right-hand side. Each person on the team is responsible for 2 targets. Colion will try to shoot all 4, but Amy will beat him to them, I'm sure. Ultimately, at that point, we have a piece of steel at about 70 yards, and we're going to load a slug, and we're each going to hit that piece of steel once. Each person has to hit it once. At that point, the clock stops running, and we have our time. All right, guys.
Heard that.
I'm confident in Jen again, as I was Chet last week.
Yeah,
Brother,
Jen.
give me some, give me some, give me some.
Even though you're not on my team, I'm gonna high five you.
So,
anyways.
so Jen, I think, you know, even if Colion and I went up against her in a fight together, I think she'd still kick our asses. So I think she's going to be strong enough to deal with these shotguns. We know Amy has because we've seen her shoot. She's already set the record straight. We thought she might have been lucky the first time. Not really. It was pretty apparent the way she's running those MP5s that she's good to go.
It rubs off, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, did you see the show?
The greatness rubs off.
Yes, it was
I mean,
awesome. She was
her,
killing it.
the way
That's why
she
she
was
wanted to
loading
come
that
out
MP5
here.
was just too sexy. Loading a shotgun to me is about as sexy as loading an MP5 as long as it's done smoothly. We're probably going to have some flubs. But a shotgun to me is the most enjoyable, diverse gun to shoot because you can do so much with it and you can bounce like we are birdshot to buckshot to slugs, and then you can bounce back to buckshot if you want to. So there's just so much. It's a thinking man's gun is what my old instructor used to talk to me about, and it really is. And Colion, I'm going to be frustrated if you don't share my love for this thing by the time it's all over. So
as long as I beat you, I'm fine.
Well, you are 0 for 2. Jen, we're gonna take it to 0 and 3 this time. But everybody ready for this? And we do have Trident Response again here, running the safety for the range, and that's the biggest thing is just to be safe, and we're gonna still have fun like we have been having this.
Are we timing this?
We are gonna time it. So, Colion, don't lie when you time me.
I didn't lie last time.
I know you didn't. You were more honest than Amy. Amy was trying to cheat.
You actually lost last time.
All right, let's do it, guys. We're shooting first. Let's do it, Jen.
Game on.
Yeah,
Hey,
all right.
Look at her go.
We are on safe. Go ahead, load that. Go on safe. Ready, let's go.
Woohoo!
The shells are jingling.
Get it, girl.
All right, let's knock some pins down right now. Safety off.
Wow, Darren with the triple shot there. Did you see that?
Knock 3 down.
Yeah.
Wow, look at
right.
Jen go.
Oh.
Hit from back here.
So you are loading those other
Damn,
shells.
right there, boom.
So now it's buckshot. Load
All right,
3.
guys, time's looking good.
Load 3 just to make sure you got enough in case there's a miss. There's not gonna be. All right, let's do it. Okay.
I'm kind of liking that, Derek. I'm kind of liking that.
We're going buckshot. I can't remember where I put it. All right, how you looking? Yeah, just squeeze on that target.
Up.
Uh-oh.
The sort.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Hey, Collins, what do you think of this, buddy? Oh!
Okay.
All right,
Yeah,
Jen,
you're ready
nice
to go,
shot.
aren't
Just a
you?
little
Yeah,
bit
I am.
lower. You got in the head shot right there. Nice. One more time. Okay,
I'm out.
go ahead and load it. So you hit it in the head. It just didn't go down because only 2 pellets hit it.
All right, so these
So go ahead and
pockets might
drop it
cause
right
a
in the
problem.
breech. Go ahead and drop that right in the breech and hit this. Aim a little bit lower. Go ahead and hit that.
I'm gonna keep him on this side.
Yep. And go ahead and aim a little bit lower. Right. And yeah, nice shot.
Jen.
Okay, now it's slug. Remember this pocket here.
One
We're gonna do
more, one more.
slug. So go ahead and load it in the breech again and hit that button. Okay? Now you're gonna aim right at the base of that steel target. Nice and smooth on that trigger. Yes!
There you go.
Way to fight through it. That was
All right,
awesome.
guys.
Awesome.
That was awesome.
Did you see her fighting through that?
That was.
Thank you. Thank you.
Was
I gotta get to
great.
Colion, I ran that smooth for you, baby.
Uh-huh.
So Jen, that was awesome. You did not get flustered. You were shooting over those pins, which is not bad shooting. You weren't flinching. You weren't using bad trigger control. It was just your sight picture on that shotgun, new to you, is a little different. So you were shooting a little high. You
Got a
adjusted
little
after you
excited.
reloaded. You were excited.
Derek goes to sleep with this shotgun.
How was the adrenaline?
Oh,
Adrenaline
it was so good. Loved
Did
it.
you feel like you were racing against
I
the
did.
clock?
I was like, oh my gosh, the clock, but I
you
had to
never-
just
You did
bring
great.
it in.
All right,
And,
now compare that to some of the workouts you do on a regular basis.
oh,
So how is that to a really good day in the gym? Is it up there?
it's up there.
Okay.
Oh yeah, definitely.
In case you didn't notice, Jen actually spends a little time in the gym. More time than Colion spends in a year, she spends a week. But that's another story for another day. I'm trying to talk you guys down. 'cause
See
we're
me
gonna
in
whip
2
you.
months, bro.
Hey, I'm wondering if you want to know your time.
I do want to know the time.
You do want to know your time?
let's
We
hear it.
actually got the exact same time this time.
Okay, good.
2 minutes and 19 seconds.
Nice.
Nice.
Right.
Very good.
So-
Gives us something to shoot for.
Thank you. Well, let's do it. You guys
Cool.
are going to roll, and you guys load your own shotguns this
Oh,
time.
all right.
Okay, Colion, I want you to love shotguns as much as I love them, so I want you to run this well. This is your chance. Amy, show them how to do it. Go.
Safety on. Let's go.
Safety on. Go.
Safety's off.
Aim at the base of them. There you go.
Nice.
You're shooting over the top a
Yep.
little bit. Let's go, you guys. You guys are on good time. Colion, nice load. That was smooth.
Ah.
All right, Amy, stick some rounds in there.
right.
Just 3.
Just 3.
Yep, and aim at the base of those bowling pins, right at the base. Nice and smooth. Good. Dead center, dead center. Nice.
Okay.
You own those 3. That was good. All right, Colion, nice run, baby, nice run. That was 1 minute. All right, Amy.
Ah.
Remember to aim low, Amy. There you go. You're
What?
Still, you got
I hit
3
that.
pellets on the head and it didn't fall. Aim right at the legs.
There you go.
Aim right at the legs. You're still running a great time. Nice and smooth, right at the legs. Nice, dead center. Yes.
Okay.
Now a slug. 1 minute, 30 seconds right now.
Oh, sweet.
Got it. Got it.
You're owning us right now.
Yep.
Okay.
You only need 1.
All right.
That stand. Look at you working that bolt. Right at the stand. Nice and smooth on that trigger. Just a little high.
Oh, shit, it's hot. Thanks. What's our time?
155. You're still good. You got
got
time.
this.
Right at the stand. Yes! 203. All right, you guys smoked us. Nice job. Nice job.
work.
Do you love shotguns as much as I love them? Are you starting
How fun was
to?
that?
Dude, that run was clean.
I like the
No, it was...
like the buckshot and the bird shot.
The slugs, I mean,
Man.
well, you guys looked pretty damn smooth there. You beat us, so my undefeated streak
Sweet.
is no longer. And it's not because
Well.
of Jen. Not because of Jen.
You
Jen,
did great.
both,
Yeah, Jen did.
Needed a little bit more beginner luck on that
she
one.
did work it. No, it was awesome. You
So
know,
talk about it.
I just want you guys to love shotguns as much as I do. We will talk about it a little bit. You guys beat us. Nice job.
That was
and
fun.
Colion sweating, so I love it. You
Yeah,
actually
I am
beat,
sweating.
and you beat him in the sprint, which was awesome. Let's go talk about this thing. You started late. Good excuse. Good excuse. All right, guys, we just got done with the shotgun bowling session, and the ladies actually used the JM Pro semi-automatic, and Colion and I used the Magpul Mossberg, and both shotguns are Mossberg. And I really just want you to have my love of the tactical shotgun. That's really what I want to
That's
get.
just it, though. Why do you think I don't have it?
Well, because you haven't had the experience, but you're gonna have more
I
experience.
said
with
I've
it 'cause
never
I wanna
run
make
a
that happen.
pump shotgun.
All right, all right.
The fact that you assume that a semi is not a tactical shotgun.
It says a lot about me.
That's you.
Did I say 870 earlier? But I love the 500. I'm a Mossberg fan, and it's crazy. I'm a convert, and I'm glad I've had this experience with them that we've had on your show. So, Jen, you shot amazingly well. So this is
Yes,
the
you did.
second time
you.
we've had an extraordinarily new, relatively new shooter come out and do a great job. Why were you able to shoot so well? I know that you have an amazing record and resume in athletics, so I just want you to explain a little bit about it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think a lot of it has to do with that background, being an athlete, training, training your mind and your body, and kind of bringing that all together for game day. And,
And you've had some game days.
I've
in
had some
college.
game days, yeah. I mean, my whole entire background is in athletics, from softball starting when I was 5, and then, going into college as a heptathlete and a cheerleader. So, and then after that,
Scholarship
Wow.
cheerleader. Nobody would believe that, I'm sure. But yeah.
Who did you date in high school?
Yeah.
Bo Jackson's son?
Yeah,
I didn't have time to date. Come on, I'm like working out.
So you were a heptathlete because you went to college on a cheerleader scholarship. You ended up walking on the track team and as a heptathlete, which describe what that is, please.
Yes, a heptathlete is 7 events in college track and field. And so it includes the 100-meter hurdles, 200-meter dash, high jump, long jump, shot put, javelin, and the 800-meter run.
The same day.
And then
And-
someone
and the
drops
coach-
out of the relay, or they like, hey, Jen.
Yes,
hop in
actually,
real quick.
I did the relays too.
I long jumped in high school. Does that count?
And the coach said, so then the coach said, hey, you're not busy enough on track day when we ever meet, so what else did you do?
Pole vault.
Okay.
So yeah, threw that one in there.
Oh my gosh, you're coming on. We're gonna do like girls versus boys next time. Me and you, we're gonna take them on.
And so
Yeah,
obviously, because I have lots of friends who are shooters who would not have shot as well as you did. You're pretty new to this kind of thing. You obviously had that athleticism translate over to what we did today. How did it compare as far as excitement, adrenaline, whatever else goes on?
The rush is there. I mean, it's huge, and honestly, I wasn't expecting it. I've spent a little bit of time in a gun shooting range indoors, and it's different, you know?
Sure.
You shoot a couple rounds, and yeah, you learn it, but out here, you're out in the wilderness, you know? You have the bowling pins, we're running around, we're running with the guns. I mean, it was.
You don't do that.
Awesome.
You don't do that in indoor range. It's a static line.
You can. It's completely. Was this your first time to ever do this type of shooting before?
Yes.
Like on a timer and all that kind of stuff. Oh, that's cool.
I mean, it was so much fun. My heart was pounding, but at the same time, you know, there was a little bit, you know, a moment where I was distressed and I was missing the pin.
But you didn't show it. That was the amazing thing. You turned that gun over and you were reloading out of your pants that aren't necessarily designed for reloading.
Here's the real question.
Is she wearing tights as pants?
She's wearing tights pants. These are special
I learned that word.
Pants, yes, that have
Tights as
pockets
pants.
in them.
God's gift to men.
My favorite new word, tights as pants.
Here's the question of the day. Can you go back to a regular range?
I think I could do it.
You could, of course.
But in my heart and in my mind, I would be like, oh, I wish I was outside running around.
Where are the bowling pins?
Go to the course that LaSword has set up for us. Yep, absolutely.
Where are the bowling pins? Of course.
Well, I know. So, well, I think it's safe to say that you're kind of our woman crush Wednesday.
Yeah.
So that,
I think we're gonna see Jen again.
Sure. We'll have you back.
You know, this is my segment. I've talked about that now 2 weeks in a row. I'll convince Colion to bring Jen back. It's gonna happen.
Oh, it's already happening.
Yeah, it's happening. So, no, Jen, thank you so much for coming out here, and thank you again, ETTS, for having us out. We just absolutely love this place. So,
yes, sir.
We'll see you again next week. Yep.
What a fun time.
We'll be back again. When I first got to Texas Motor Speedway and I walked along the track, I couldn't help but wonder. Every subculture has its own festival of sorts. There's Bonnaroo for the hippies, Comic-Con for the gamers, Sundance for the film buffs, and Mardi Gras for the YOLO diehards. But where's the festival for gun owners? If I had my way, and I mean with no limits, this is where I would have Gunfest. It would start here on this track with every major gun manufacturer having a vehicle of their choice outfitted to represent their brand. From Ferraris to G-Wagon 6x6s to H1 Hummers fitted with the Mod Deuce, all circling the track like an artillery-lace Olympic game introduction ceremony. And then what's a festival without music? And I mean lots of it. Think Coachella meets South by Southwest meets Electric Daisy Carnival. Live performances and laser shows that would put Kanye West's Glow in the Dark tour to shame. All played out on a screen the size of God's front living room TV. And then every hour the music stops and a team of Navy SEALs airdrops into the stadium into an area surrounded by steel. Once they land, they fire their HK-416s into each target as fast as possible, with each strike of the steel target ringing throughout the stadium. And then when they're done, the crowd erupts into an applause of cheering. And then I can see a row of mechanical skeet throwers launching skeet discs strapped with tannerite into the air and being shot out of the sky by attendees with their personal shotguns. And then the garages, you know, the ones that are typically filled with cars? We essentially turn those into walking gun vaults filled with guns. Think one big mini gun show in the middle of everything, where attendees can walk through and see the coolest guns and the guns they've only dreamed about. And then to cap everything off, the festival ends with a massive nighttime tracer shoot. Whether from the grandstands or the sweet box, you get to watch a visual orgy of tracer rounds fired to the schizophrenic 808s of Skrillex's I'm a Stranger, and a whole host of other artists serving as the perfect climax to my highly unrealistic, improbable, but beautifully ridiculous Gunfest. But hey, it's just a start. I'll let someone else work out the real-world logistics. I'm here to dream.
This was so much fun to watch. You wanna know why?
Why?
Because I was thinking the whole time, like, ooh, okay, at my Gunfest, I would have a fashion show. I would have some of the top chefs in the world, like, cooking things up while the gun show is going on. I mean, this was kind of fun. You don't sound like that would be very much fun at your. Is my fashion show not allowed at your gun show?
I went into visual mode and I was like, okay.
And not like gun apparel fashion show, but like legit Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week fashion show.
Yeah, and it's not like all models come out in Mercedes-Benzes either. Exactly. So I get your point.
Oh, they could though.
Yeah.
They totally could. See, we're talking, I know, like this is actually kind of fun.
I'm used to being in this world by myself, so like seeing you there is kind of freaking me out.
I know, because usually I'm crushing your dreams, and I'm like, logistically,
like a dream killer.
That's not gonna work.
Mills would not like you.
How are we gonna get 100,000 people into this? I mean,
you have no idea what I'm talking about. Either.
I had no idea. I just that went in one ear out the other. No, but I mean, really. But I think that's what happens a lot of times. A lot of times, there's a lot of people like me that are like, that's not gonna work. How are we gonna get that? How are we gonna drop Navy SEALs into the?
Who cares?
I don't know. Let's figure it out and have fun.
It's supposed to be ironically a 30,000-foot view of what the gun culture could be, what it could become.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily the case we're like logistically trying to plan out, all right, how do we make this gun fest work?
We're not actually about to put one on.
It's almost supposed to be a homage to just the idea of what we really can be out in society.
Pulling in everything that's already a part of our lifestyles, and just it's like one big super fest just comes together.
Maybe I just suck at compartmentalizing things, and I always want everything to just start mashing together.
It's like you're that person that has several groups of friends, or either the one that tries to always bring them together. Bring them all together and mesh it. Yeah.
It's like, but for some reason I hate gumbo.
Well, you do?
I'm not a big fan of gumbo.
Okay, gumbo would not be at your gun fest then.
Yeah.
All right, that's fine.
It's for other people.
That's fine too. Maybe it is at somebody else's. I don't know, but I love that you picked it at Texas Motor Speedway, and what a great place.
It was a great place. I mean, just even shooting there, it was really awe-inspiring. There was one time where there was a class going on where they were teaching people to go around the track and stuff, and it was just mesmerizing watching the crowd go around. I was like a little idiot.
Do you think you're the only person that's actually thought about this though?
No.
I've never thought of a gun fest.
I'm pretty sure there are some other only children out there who are into firearms who telling you.
Well, no, what I think would be really cool, I mean, clearly, guys, we're not the only ones that sit around and dream all day. We know there's probably a lot of you out there that might have had this same idea. I'd kind of like to see their thoughts.
I'd be really interested to see what some of you guys came up with as far as your own version of a gun fest.
You would?
Yeah.
What, do you want them to write it? You want them to video it?
I don't care.
It could be creative.
Do whatever you want. Send it however you decide to communicate with us, send it via that channel. But I'd be interested to see.
And I would too. So send them our way.
Yes, sir.
Why is she alone on this dark street? On this cold night? You care, but she doesn't. Her Jimmy Choos can't be comfortable, but you'd never know it. Unaffected elegance. Too cool elegance. Not for you elegance, you say. There's got to be something wrong with her. That attitude. High maintenance. Hiding something. She's taller than you can handle. Flirts more than you can handle, too. She's the kind to tell the bartender how to make her drink. And chess? Yeah, it's a men's game. But when she plays, men pay. You say you don't like her until she looks your way. She's not easy, and she's not flawless. But she's never wasted a time thinking about it. She is the HK MR 556.
All right, Lessort. I mean, do you agree? Do you not agree? What are your thoughts? I know you're familiar with the MR556, or as some other people know, with the civilian version of the HK416.
Yeah, I have to agree. I have to agree, and I like the comparison with the woman, but I do want you to, and the hot woman, but explain a little more, please. What was going on in your mind?
That MR556 is one of those guns that people it's very easy to hate it.
Right.
It just makes it easy to hate it because it's unapologetically what it is.
Yeah.
It's heavy. It's expensive as hell.
Sounds like some of my recent experience in Vegas, like this past weekend.
Oh my God.
But you still want to have fun with them, and they're a little dangerous. And I learned they're a little dangerous. But yes, okay, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Very nice.
It's like the words really do mean what I'm saying in the video. It's the HK MR556 is that gun that it's like that girl who's unbelievably attractive. She has this presence about her that seems untouchable, and she's not apologetic about her beauty. But because of that, it's easy to and she's largely out of a lot of people's leagues. So
I was gonna say, I just thought at first you were just setting your standards really high.
Including
like,
mine. Including mine.
Man,
Now,
he's setting his standards really high here.
You're such a creative writer and thinker. I love it. And I mean, this just comes to you. Like, I could never do that. Not in a million years could I sit down, no matter what kind of money's at stake or how much time I have, I could never do something like that.
And
I kind of hate you for that.
But you do that to your car, don't you?
No, I mean, I'm incapable of being that creative, and it sucks.
Right.
But it's just that I mean, it does, and I hate that about me. But I think that all HK products benefit from the gun we shot last week, the HK MP5.
Yeah.
And watching the show from last week and seeing Amy reload that gun, like you could not watch that and not say, "Damn, that is sexy."
I'll give you
the way, I mean,
$5
and the loading, the loading, and she was so good at it. Magazine in and boom.
Yep.
Now, the only thing that's almost as sexy is loading an AK with the underhand movement to work the bolt. Once you put the magazine in, rip the empty magazine out with a new magazine in, and work the bolt this way. That's sexy too. But the MP5 is the sexiest gun, I said it last week, in the world, and all HK products since have benefited from that sexy reputation.
For some people, like I said, when you get into the arbitrary purchasing aspect of firearms, things get a little bit more entertaining. They do. They just do.
I'm there.
You know, and I'm not saying
Not there yet.
it's
No,
I'm not saying it's any more fun than buying your first self-defense gun. That process in and of itself is amazing.
Right.
But it's a different type of appreciation for firearms above and beyond. Is it reliable?
Sure.
Is it the most cost-effective?
Right.
And do I have modularity between different platforms?
Cool.
This is a little like the Camaro Z28 that's out there right now that's just destroying everything on the track. You know, Porsche Turbo S's and GTRs and all that. It's $75,000. You got a Ferrari that's $225,000. Which car do you really want?
And you can really make the argument that the Z28 just makes more sense.
We're gonna give you guys your own entire segment to talk about cars one of these days.
We always try to get to cars.
You do, you always bring it to cars, but thank you so much for taking a look at that video.
Thanks, Sammy, it was good.
The Z28's a beast though.
It is, it's amazing.
Another time.
Yeah.
I've got to say, I just absolutely love these How I Watch Noir pictures. Again, I mean, I look forward to seeing the pictures that you guys send in every single week.
I actually just posted a collage.
I saw that.
Instagram picture of them. I thought it was pretty cool. I didn't realize that the actual hashtag had taken off the way it has.
It had, and people are putting you guys have some really nice guns. I mean, and I just think it's a cool way to showcase it. Well, I did real quick get a hilarious How I Watch Noir picture.
Do share.
Because apparently not everybody that watches our show is actually a gun owner. And so one person did not have a gun to put in the picture except for this gun. So they took a picture of their bicep and the computer screen, and I just thought that was hilarious. So please keep the pictures coming. Again, it's hashtag How I Watch Noir. So let's get right into our questions.
Let's have at it.
Well, somebody was wondering what gun you would recommend, what handgun you would recommend for a first-time buyer.
Well, I can tell you what I did, and then couple that with the knowledge I have now as a result of being what I've done. The best thing to do is to do as much research as possible, but to a point. Because you don't want to over-research, because you could spend years and years. I'm still researching to this day, and I have more guns than I ever need. But try to get your hands on as many guns as you possibly can. Go to different gun stores, get them in your hands, feel them, and then try to shoot as many different guns as you possibly can. Because the way a gun feels in your hand will feel totally different when you actually go shoot it. So I think that's probably going to be the best approach to really kind of seeing, okay, does this gun really work for me? And then understand what you need that gun to do. If it's just going to be a bedside gun, then your different parameters for what you're looking for are going to be a lot different than something that's going to be your bedside plus your concealed carry. You know, because then that dictates the different sizes, you know, things like that.
Yeah, no, I think that's great advice.
So
pretty good.
basically, in short, just get your hands on as many guns as you possibly can for free. And shoot as many guns as you possibly can, and then make your decision from there.
All right, cool. All right, this next question I thought was really funny. They wanted to know, is there anything in particular that you hoard or stockpile? I mean, since you always talk about the zombie apocalypse and everything, so.
I suck at prepping in any sense or fashion of the word. And I say that honestly, kind of shamed. I'm terrible.
As in you wish you were a better
I wish I was better prepared in that standpoint.
All right.
As far as the gun thing, I'm pretty much squared away. But when it comes to actual survival, like, I'm kind of lacking in that area. So there isn't anything that I can honestly say in my mind that, you know what, I'm good to go squared away. Maybe water.
Okay.
Yeah, like I think because I just arbitrarily buy the cases of bottled water for some reason. So I guess if I had to choose something, it'd be water.
All right. There you go. Okay, well, what song is on the Spotify playlist this week?
This week, I added a song from one of my favorite artists by the name of Weeknd. The Weeknd.
The Weeknd.
The Weeknd. Not spelled the way it sounds.
All right.
But the name of the song is going to be Wanderlust.
Cool.
And I love the song. Kind of has a little 80s Michael Jackson-ish vibe to it. So
I'm sure I'll be hearing that song.
Yeah, you will.
In the range.
On
Cool.
repeat.
All right, well, you guys check that out
Over and over again.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll see you next week.
Absolutely.